Good morning, everybody. We're going to continue off what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we were converting between units of length, right? Inches, feet, yards, and miles. Today, we're going to do the same thing, something very similar, but we're going to be converting between units of capacity. What is capacity? Well, capacity is how much something can hold, right? Yesterday, we looked at how long something was. Today, we're looking at how much it can hold. How much liquid can it hold? Or how much of a solid it can hold. And the four main units of capacity we're going to be talking about are these listed right here. So let's start with the big ones. These are gallons, right? This is like the biggest container you can usually buy at the grocery store. We got a big gallon of milk. What is slightly less than a gallon is a quart. All right. So actually, a quart is about half of a gallon, right? Actually, there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So this is about a fourth of the gallon. So you can see we got a gallon and we're moving down to a quart. A pint is basically like a really big glass, right? The biggest glass you can probably find in your house is a pint. And you can imagine there's a bunch of pints in a gallon. And then what's smaller than that is a cup. And when we say cup, we don't mean just like the big water cup at your house. A cup is a unit of measure. It's actually pretty small, right? So it's smaller than the pint. So these are the units of capacity that we're going to be converting between today. All right. Now, how are these conversions done? Well, we can look here and we can see that, well, so we can see 4 quarts equals a gallon, 8 pints equals a gallon, 16 cups are in a gallon, 2 cups equal a pint, 2 cups equal a quart. But this is a good way to look at it. This diagram we have here, right? So we see the big G, that stands for gallon, right? Everything fits within the gallon. How many quarts are in a gallon? Well, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts are in a gallon. You can also see that there's 2 pints in a quart, but also we can see how many pints are in a gallon, right? It says here there's 8 pints in a gallon. Well, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 pints in a gallon. How many cups are in a pint? Well, there's 1, 2 cups in a pint. And how many cups are in a quart? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 cups in a quart. Let's see. If there's 4 cups in a quart and there's 4 quarts in a gallon, how many cups are in a gallon? 4, 8, 12, 16, or 4 times 4, right? So there's 16 cups in a gallon, right? So we can figure all this out from this diagram we have. So I'll share that in the stream and you guys can take a look at it. All right. So now, how do we convert between units of capacity? Remember, the same rules apply. Yesterday, we learned that if we go from a small unit to a big unit, we're going to divide, right? And if we go from a big unit to a small unit, we're going to be multiplying. So let's look at a couple examples here. All right, so let's see. Jerry's making fruit punch for her party. The recipe will make a gallon of juice. How many cups will a gallon make? How many cups will a gallon make? So in this case, we're going from cups to gallons, right? So I guess she's making fruit punch. The recipe will make a gallon of juice. So that means we've got 1 gallon, right? 1 gallon. Well, how many cups are in 1 gallon? Well, 1 gallon actually equals 16 cups, right? So 1 gallon equals 16 cups. Not a whole lot of converting there, but we can see that 1 gallon equals 16 cups. And if we go back here, again, we can see that there are 16 cups in a gallon, right? 4 times 4 is 16. Let's look at a slightly harder one. Larry is filling up pints of water to take on a camping trip. So he's filling up pints. He's going with his 2 closest friends. If he wants to take 2 gallons of water for each person, how many pints? How many pints will he need to fill up? So let's see. He's filling up pints of water to take on a camping trip. He's going with 2 friends. He wants 2 gallons of water for each person. So how many people are there altogether? There's 3 people, right? 3 people. So there's 3 people altogether. And he wants to bring 2 gallons for each person, right? So 3 people times 2 gallons, right? So how many gallons altogether? So 3 times 2 is 6. So that means he's going to have 6 gallons altogether, right? So I think that's the first part of the problem. But the question is, how many pints will he fill up, right? Well, let's see. How many pints are in a gallon? How many pints are in a gallon? There's 8 pints in a gallon, right? 8 pints equals 1 gallon. So we want to convert these 6 gallons to an unknown number of pints. We're just going to write P for pints. So let's see. 8 pints equals 1 gallon. So are we going from a big unit to a small unit or a small unit to a big unit? What's bigger, gallons or pints? Gallons are bigger than pints, right? So we're going from a big unit of gallons to a small unit of pints, which means we're going to multiply, right? So we've got 6 gallons. And how many pints are in a gallon? There's 8 pints in 1 gallon. So I'm going to say, all right, well, 6 gallons, and there's 8 pints in each gallon, right? So 6 times 8 equals what? Okay, so 6 times 8 is 48, right? Which means that 6 gallons equals 48 pints. And if you think about it, if we've got 6 gallons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 6 gallons, right? And we know there's 8 pints in each gallon, right? So 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8, right? So 8 times 6, 8, or sorry, yeah, 6 gallons times 8 pints per gallon, 6 times 8 equals 48 pints, and that is my answer. All right. Why don't you guys try to answer the problem of the day, and I'll see you during your teacher center.